The Jacksonville Jaguars are tanking. Am I the only one who thinks that their front office has decided to look forward to 2021? I mean, if you look back at really mid-October of last season in the trade of Jalen Ramsey for 2 first-round picks, one this year, one in 2021, and then a 4th-round pick. Then you move to Nick Foles this offseason, a guy that you just gave $88 million to, and you decide to move him for a 4th-round pick. And then you move Calais Campbell for a 5th-round pick, and then A.J. Bouye for a 4th-round pick. So all of your best players that you decided 2 years ago were going to be the backbone of an AFC championship run, you've decided to trade away and acquire picks. And so this team, or at least this front office, to me has made it very clear. 2020 is going to be a season where they have one goal: to try and acquire the first pick of the 2021 draft so they can draft Trevor Lawrence out of Clemson, Greeny.
And so let's talk quickly about him, because it's not just about tanking in a vacuum. This is a quarterback. How would you describe the way you think evaluators view Lawrence as a prospect?
Once in a generation. He will be the highest rated and the most sought after prospect at that position since Andrew Luck. In many ways, talent-wise, flawless. He's big, he's athletic, he's smart, he's got a live arm, he can make every type of throw that you need. Deep ball, ball that needs to be put on a rope, touch ball, out-breaking routes, in-breaking routes, incredibly hardworking, humble, intelligent, like everything that you want in a quarterback. They're going to look at Trevor Lawrence and say, not only is he good at it, he is great to elite at it. And that's why the Jaguars, and I know you're going to hate this, it makes sense to do what I think they're doing, to go get that #1 pick to secure Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I don't hate it. It makes sense. I totally agree with you. And until they stop incentivizing losing in sports, teams are best served doing it. And there's no better time to do it than when a guy this good is available. Booger, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that definitely could be a possibility, but I think they could do both. I mean, you could sign Cam Newton, and he's not going to require a big, hefty contract, so you can still, quote-unquote, tank, but why not kick the tires on Cam Newton? Bring him in, let him compete. It's not going to cost you a ton of money, and guess what? If it fails, you can still be hopefully in a position to draft Trevor Lawrence. We talked about the Miami Dolphins tanking for Tua. The Miami Dolphins came out, and Brian Flores said, you know what? We're not tanking. We're going to go out and win. They were competitive. Their fan base was kind of happy. And now you look at a team that's set up with the 5th overall pick, and I think they're in the prime position. Unlike a lot of people who think 3 is the spot for Tua, I think the Miami Dolphins at 5 feel really comfortable. They can stand pat and get Tua Tagovailoa at 5, and they didn't even have to tank if you go back and look at the end of last season, because they were very competitive in a lot of their games.
Hold on, I have to stop you there, because it's not where we were planning to go, but you're the first person I've had say that. Let's focus on that a minute. You do not believe Tagovailoa goes earlier than 5?
Well, Greeny, here's the thing. Everyone says at 3, okay? Why would the Detroit Lions get rid of Matthew Stafford? I keep hearing people say the Lions and Tua Tagovailoa. I think the Detroit Lions feel really good about Matthew Stafford. You get rid of Slay, it makes sense to get Jeff Okudah the corner there. I would say this: if there's a team other than Miami at 5, let's say the Chargers behind Miami, let's say the Chargers want Tua. The Chargers would then have to come up above Miami, right? Because I think Miami at 5 would take Tua at 5. Now, if Miami gets a feeling that that Los Angeles wants to come up, then maybe you have to move up to 4. But I think the Dolphins feel really good, Greeny, about being there at 5 and thinking Tua will be there, because I don't think that the 4 teams in front of them, let's say those 4 teams stand pat, I don't think those 4 teams are taking Tua Tagovailoa.
That's fair, but we have been speculating all along that someone will trade up to 3 and maybe even 2 to get Tua. Bobby, I haven't had you on since we've been talking about this. Do you think that when if the Dolphins pick 5th, that Tua will still be there?
He could be, but they'll have to go up to get him. But that going back to the Cam Newton conversation, what we were talking about, bringing him in, if he did what Ryan Fitzpatrick did for the Dolphins last year, that's why we're talking about this right now and the Dolphins having to move, because they played well enough that they won enough games that they're picking at 5 instead of picking at 1 or 2. And so if they were really bad, they'd have the 1st or 2nd pick. They'd have their choice. That's not what Jacksonville wants to do. And I do ultimately think the Dolphins will go up because they believe he's their guy and they do not want to get jumped.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.